going into work. I would be home at 4 o'clock. So, cheers to virtual learning. So, I used to absolutely hate wine. Hated it. And I think this is like how wine goes for most people. You hate it at first, and then you find one that you actually like, and then you really like it. My parents drink red wine, and I do not like it at all. I like a super sweet white wine. I'm a baby, but also like that's just my palate. I just like it. So this is a Riesling, which is probably the sweetest white wine you can get. But I love it. It doesn't, like, it's not so sweet where it doesn't still have a little bit of a bite, but it's not oaky. I hate really woody wine. It tastes so bitter to me, and I don't like it. So this is the Riesling from Aldi. I had heard, I want to say it was Jessica Braun, talk about Aldi wine, and I really like it. It's cheap, it's good, and a lot of people have said, like, when you get cheap wine, white wine especially, that it can mess you up and give you a really bad hangover or just give you a really bad headache because of the sugar. But this doesn't give me any issues. I had a problem with a wine that I think we got from Harris Teeter one time, and it just like, I didn't feel like I had a hangover, but my head just really hurt, even before I even went to sleep. But this does not do me dirty, so I love it. It's mild enough to go with everything. The funny thing is, and it's like, I'm immediately getting this craving every time, and I mean every time I drink this, I immediately crave a cheese stick, like a cheddar cheese stick. I mean, every time, like, I want it so bad right now. Oh, that would taste so good. I mean, wine and cheese goes together. Like, it makes sense, but it's just like immediate. I'm like, a cheese stick, where that would never be something that would be a craving for me. Like, I love cheese, don't get me wrong, but like, as an adult, I really don't know the last time I had a cheese stick. Joe eats them a lot, but anyway, it's like a cheese stick or Cheez-Its are my two cravings, and that is definitely sounding appetizing. It's so good. I would love to know if you like wine or not. I think it is an acquired taste, just like a lot of other things. I want to say I'm not the biggest drinker, but I do love a glass of wine. I definitely don't have one every night, but it's nice to have with dinner. So anyway, I like champagne as well. You know, this is actually kind of funny. The reason that I love Riesling is because of my grandpa, which is really funny because it's like the thought of drinking with your grandparents is so bizarre, but every time we go over to their house, now that me and one of my other sisters are 21, they always have wine, and they get this enormous bottle of Riesling from Sam's. I'm telling you, counseling. And my grandparents are so funny because we joke in my family that they've been replaced and we're now living and interacting with imposters. So last year, I think it was last year and the year before, were not good health years for my grandparents. My grandparents are in their mid to late 70s, I think. And I'm trying to think of what happened first. Oh my gosh, I can hear my phone and the iPad dinging in the bedroom. There's like a million notifications coming up on my computer too. But my grandma, well, and my grandpa were on. It's funny, but it's really serious, but it's kind of funny. They were like in Maine, I think. I think it was Maine for a knitting conference. My grandma was going to a knitting conference. I mean, could you get more classic old lady than that? But it's funny because my grandma is not a classic old lady. Like, she's super sassy and stubborn and she's hilarious. When she was working, she worked as a psychologist, so like that personality type. And I think it was the day that they left, she like tripped on a stair and broke her hip. Again, classic old lady thing, right? Breaking your hip. I laugh like it's not funny, but it's just like, you know, they hit all of the like old people check boxes on that trip. So she broke her hip and was in the hospital or had surgery or something, and then had to do like physical therapy, but that was like all right. Like afterwards she healed fine and stuff. But my grandpa, again, I don't remember if these incidences both happened in 2019 or if it was 2018 and 19. But basically, my grandpa had some sort of like knee infection and had to get his knee replaced or his knee replacement taken out or something. It was like this big thing. I know you guys are so interested in my grandparents' health, but whatever. It's a whispered ramble for a reason. I definitely didn't plan to talk about this. But I think it was that he had his knee replaced or his knee replacement replaced. And then a while later it got reinfected. And so he was in the hospital. And like they did something else. I don't know what it was. Okay. I'm finally back around to the imposters. Okay. My grandpa was like the biggest coffee drinker, I swear, like to ever exist. He would like drink coffee throughout the entirety of the day, all day long. When we would go to get my car worked on, because that's like one of our cute things, is he deals with like all of our cars. He takes them all in for oil changes, to be serviced, all sorts of stuff. And so me and my other sister Lindsay, when it's like our times, you know, for our cars to get serviced, we'll go with them. And when we would be there for maybe like an hour or two, he would have like 3 cups of coffee, like in the middle of the day. I mean, he drank it all the time. When he came out of the hospital, there was some medicine that he was on, and he said it made coffee taste disgusting. He doesn't drink it anymore. None. It's like he dropped that bomb on us one time when we were over there. He was like, yeah, I don't drink coffee anymore. It just tastes weird. And we were like, who is this man? Like, that is not our GB. And then my grandma, the entire time I have been alive, she has gives me a headache or a migraine. She's the one I get my migraines from, by the way. She drinks wine now. They both do. They have a wine membership where they have wine delivered to their house. I mean, this is so out of character for both of them. It's so bizarre. So, yeah, I mean, it's really strange. But I've acquired my love of Riesling from them. I think what I was gonna say initially was that my grandpa, makes sure that you always have a full glass. So I've been a little messed up before at their house when we're, out on their back porch eating dinner, and I'm like, I really don't need more. But it's funny. I mean, I'm really close with my grandparents, and I love that. I mean, some of my best memories are with them. We've done a lot of really fun things, especially me and my sister, who's right below me in age. I mean, I'm telling you, some of my most hysterical moments are with my grandparents. The trips we've been on have been hilariously wild. So yeah. I thought I would do a little bit of book tapping. I thought this could do or make some good sticky finger sounds. This is James and the Giant Peach. One of my favorite movies since I was a kid. I think I might use this as a read aloud this year. Just for fun. Because it is one of my favorites. I also love Matilda. The Roald Dahl books are some of my favorites. So I might use this with my kids. So currently today, for me, it's Monday. And it's been a Monday. I love that sound. Okay, that noise was really weird. Virtual learning has been interesting so far. There's been a lot of hiccups, and dealing with technology is really frustrating, and it makes you feel really out of control, which I think for any teacher is the opposite of all of our personality types. There are just certain things about virtual learning that make it harder, or teaching online. You can't wing anything. You can't really do it as you go. The program that we're using Canvas, and it's so much more complicated, especially the way our district has it set up, all of our pages and the modules and the assignments. So it's a lot to handle, and making sure that things are linked up properly or in the correct order, or that kids can submit things, that things are published, all sorts of things. There's a lot of steps to making sure that the materials are ready to go for the day. And you don't have to worry about that when you're in person. There have been times where, oops, I didn't make enough of a worksheet. So when my kids go to the bathroom, and we're walking in the hallway, I would go and make a couple copies really quick. No big deal. If a kid forgot their workbook, well, they would never not have their workbook at school, but if something weird happened like that, they could look at the resource that was on the board or ask a friend to help. They don't have that now. They're at home by themselves. So it's really on me to make sure that everything's working well. And when the program itself crashes, that's a disaster. And of course that happened today, so it's interesting. it was our first day of like doing every subject, but really not even. There's a piece of our literacy that we didn't do today. But I would say like less than half of my class submitted their assignments. I think there's like half of my class that didn't submit a single thing. So that's gonna be a fun conversation tomorrow. And I get that there's a learning curve to it, but you know, this like we're moving quickly now. We were really slow last week, but like it's time to like get stuff done, so they're gonna get behind quickly. That's why I like having a meeting at the end of the day to kind of like cap off their day and say, hey, we're reviewing at 2 o'clock. If your stuff isn't done, you're gonna have no idea what we're talking about. And if I call on you, what's gonna happen, you know? So it gives them some kind of encouragement and an incentive to like do their work on time, you know, during the day, not like at 6 o'clock at night. So yeah. Alright. I love that sound. It was like gloomy and rainy all day today, and it's now stopped raining, and it's like 4 o'clock, of course. I'm feeling a lot better after having a little bit of wine and filming this video. I can feel that I'm really tense. I need to wear my blue light glasses when I'm on the computer because I'm literally on the computer all day long doing one thing or another. And like I can feel a difference. So I would recommend those two if you're doing virtual learning, like as a student or as a teacher. It really is helpful. Alrighty, well, my camera is gonna turn off any second now. It's overheating and I can see the battery's like dying. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very random